Okay, so in this video we're going to be talking about Barcelona, the positives this season, the negatives this season, and also what we need to work on, and who we should sign next season and sell, of course, to raise some funds to sign the players that we need. So let's start off by talking about the positives. So the biggest positive is that we're at the top of La Liga, and even though it has been considered a bad season by many, it shows that we have a lot of potential, and if we play how we're supposed to, we can actually win the treble. So the other positive is that we're in the Champions League and we're in pole position to get into the quarters because we drew away from home, got that away goal, and we usually win at the Camp Nou, and we've won for I think 3 or 4 seasons in the Champions League at home. So yeah, we're probably going to get into the quarters, and that's a big positive. And the other biggest positive I feel is the breakthrough of Ansu Fati, because we haven't seen many La Masia players break through to the first team in recent years, but Ansu Fati broke through at just 17 years of age. Certainly a player with a lot of potential, and yeah, he should be part of our future for the seasons to come. Part of our team for the seasons to come. And also, our big wins, in my opinion, were the wins against was the win against Borussia Dortmund, 3-1. Especially at that time when Borussia Dortmund was really good, and considering that it was in the Champions League as well, that was probably our best performance this season. And we only conceded 1 goal, which was a big positive at the time because we conceded actually a lot of goals during that period. So the other significant wins were the wins against Eibar, 5-0 that was, 5-1 against Valladolid, 5-2 against Real Betis without Messi or Suarez, Griezmann taking charge of the team, and also 5-2 against Valencia. That's where Ansu Fati got a goal and an assist, and again, that was without Messi. Suarez came in as a sub and scored 2 goals in that game. And let's move on to the negatives. So the negatives were that Barcelona this season haven't really been great defensively, or have been really bad defensively, I should say. We've been conceding a lot of goals. PK's age has really shown this season because he's clearly not fast enough to play at center back for us, as the likes of Iñaki Williams have exploited him. And also, we've been really inconsistent. I mean, not really towards the later stages of the season, but towards the beginning when we didn't have Messi and for part of the time Suarez. It was almost like we'd win at home but then drop points away from home because we lost against Osasuna. We drew against Osasuna 2-2. We lost against Granada. We lost against Athletic Bilbao in the first game of the season, and etc. So yeah, we're going to talk about some of the other significant negatives. The other significant negative is, of course, that we only got 58 points in 27 games. So it's only a little more than 2 points per game, and that's not good for a club that's as good as Barcelona. We're supposed to be aiming for the top, and 58 points, not good enough. So let's move on to the other significant losses, and I would say the most humiliating one was undoubtedly the one against Real Madrid. We lost 2-0, especially late on we conceded, and on the counterattack, and yeah, it was sort of bad, especially that last goal from Mariano Diaz, and even the goal from Vinicius Jr. was just a lack of attention from Nelson Semedo and Martin Braithwaite, both of them. But the positives from that game were that in the first half we had some opportunities. Like Arthur had a big opportunity, and well, he sort of wasted that one because it was saved by Courtois. And also, right before the goal, before the Vinicius Jr. goal, Martin Braithwaite also had a really good chance, and that as well got, I think, blocked by Sergio Ramos. Yeah, that was the most humiliating defeat. But also, I would say the win against Sparta Praga was pretty disappointing because we played really bad football in that game. While we did get the win, we were really lucky to get it. And also the draw against Slavia Prague was also very disappointing because, we didn't really create that much except for Messi hitting the post. And we conceded a lot of chances in that one. So yeah, those are the negatives. I'm going to move on to the transfers that we should make next season in the summer transfer window. So we're going to start off with a center back, Dayot Upamecano. 60 million is pretty cheap for him, and because of the coronavirus crisis and the fact that his contract is running out in 2021, he could be available for less than that. And if we can get him for like 60 million as well, it's a really good signing because he's only 21, and in the Bundesliga, he's regarded as one of the best center backs in the game, or at least in the Bundesliga. So moving on, that's going to be 60 million max. So yeah, pretty cheap for a center back of his quality. So moving on, we're going to go to Timo Werner. And this one's controversial because many want Lautaro Martinez instead, who's 2 years younger. And even in my opinion, I think Lautaro Martinez is a little bit more like Suarez. However, I would have gone for him as well if not for the coronavirus crisis. But now that the coronavirus crisis has hit us, we sort of need to look for cheaper options, and Timo Werner could be that cheaper option because he's only 60 million, he's a proven goal scorer, and also he's somebody who, we have been tracking for the past 2-3 seasons, and he's pretty proven as well. He's the second highest goal scorer in the Bundesliga, only next to Robert Lewandowski, who's the best striker in the world, in my opinion. And Timo Werner has the pace, he's very versatile, and for 60 million, he could be a real bargain. And moving on, I think we should go and sign Alejandro Grimaldo because of the fact that the board want to sell Junior Firpo. I don't know why, but if they're going to sell him, we might as well look to our ex-La Masia ex-player, Alejandro Grimaldo. He's a La Masia graduate. He probably will fit in very well because of his La Masia background. And also, he's been really consistent for Benfica, one of their best performers, for the past 2-3 seasons. And we shouldn't have let him go, but he should be available for around 40 million, maybe a little less because of, again, coronavirus. But we also have a sell-on clause, so I think that we could get him for a little more than other clubs. So, because of that sell-on clause discount. Our next signing should be a winger because Dembele, we've given him a ton of chances, but just hasn't proved himself. And, it's been 3 seasons now. His injuries, his discipline, his lifestyle, it doesn't really, do him any good. And we should be looking to get him off the books. And therefore, we should be getting a winger because if we sell Dembele, then the only natural wingers we have would be Ansu Fati and Trincao and even Pedri, but Pedri isn't really a natural winger because he's more of a, inner winger, you could say, who cuts inside and plays almost like a cam. So again, he's not a natural winger, so we need a natural winger, and that could be Calvin Stengs from AC Alkmaar. He could be available on the cheap this summer because of the coronavirus crisis and the fact that many clubs aren't really going after him for some reason. And also, he's got a lot of quality. He's got a ton of goals and assists, and he could really be good for us. And yeah, 40 million, maybe even as low as 30 million because of the coronavirus crisis. He could be a bargain signing. Also, we should bring back Emerson from loan, but we shouldn't sell him like the board is trying to do. I don't know why. It makes no sense because he's got better stats, and he's only 20, remember. He's 21 now, but he's got better stats than both our fullbacks at the moment, Sergi Roberto and Nelson Semedo. He's got 3 goals and 5 assists. So yeah, that's just way better than both Sergi and Nelson. And we should be even starting him, in my opinion, because, if he can continue the form he's been on for Real Betis, he could be a real asset down that right-hand flank. And, he's might be the player that we've been missing ever since Dani Alves left, as he's pretty decent defensively. He's not just good going forward. He's good tracking back as well. He's proved that in his time at Betis, and yeah, could be really good for us. Also, I feel like since we're probably going to sell Neto this summer, and if we don't sell Ter Stegen as well because of his contract situation, and the fact that we really don't have enough money to renew his contract because of the financial crisis, even though I feel like that should be our first priority, even over Lautaro Martinez or anything. So yeah. Anyways, so if we sell Ter Stegen, then we should sign Onana, but that's if we sell him, and I still don't think it's probable. And also, if we don't sell Ter Stegen and we sell Neto, we should be promoting Iñaki Peña from the B team. He's a really young keeper. He's got a lot of potential, and I think he's good enough to be a backup. We don't need world-class keeper as a backup. It just doesn't make sense. And also, talking about the sales, I already mentioned Neto, and he could be gone for like 20 million. Really doesn't make sense why we signed him, because bought him for 35 million. It was sort of like a swap deal between him and Jasper Silson, but even then, 35 million doesn't really make sense for a backup. Anyways, the other players we should sell are Rafinha for 10 million. We should sell Philippe Coutinho and Dembele. Philippe Coutinho, we were holding out for like 90 million, but because of coronavirus again, I don't think that's possible. And many do want him to stay, but no. I mean, we have Carlos Solania. He is an attacking midfielder. He can offer that creativity from midfield that we sort of need right now, because our play is a little too predictable. And after Kike Setien has joined some games, it just feels like we just have the ball and nothing else, really. So yeah, Carlos Solania can offer that. And we should be getting Coutinho off the books for 60 mil. And also Dembele for 70 mil. And no Griezmann, guys, because I feel like we should give Griezmann a second chance, as he is hardworking. We've seen him do defensive work. It's just that, he sometimes misses some goal-scoring opportunities. But, it's just one season. It takes time for somebody to adapt, and, because of his defensive work as well, I feel like he could be really good for us in the second season. And we signed him for 120 million, so we should be looking to make it work out. So players that we should sell are Sergi Roberto. I know it sounds wrong because he is one of our club's 4 captains, and he is also a La Masia graduate. But the issue with him is that, he's 28, first of all, and second of all, he's never been great for us. He's always been average, but he's not that extra step forward that we need at Barcelona. He's good going forward. He can get some good balls into the box, but he's just really bad defensively. We've seen that over and over again. So, yeah, we should be looking to get him off the books if we get the right offer of 50 million. And also, Junior Firpo, I don't know why the board want to sell him, but if we're gonna sell him, it looks like it's gonna be for 20 million. This is not a sale that I would make, but it looks. I'm just talking realistically. So yeah, and the other 2 midfielders that we should be selling are Ivan Rakitic and Sandro Tonali, Arturo Vidal, because both of them are on high wages. They're pretty old, and we could get 20 million for each of them. And yeah, those are our sales. And yeah, that's the video. Hope you enjoyed, guys.